What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a quick little review of the Tom Ford Smoky Quartz palette. The packaging just looks like that, and it comes in a little sleeve, a little pouch. And this is the matte one. I was just hesitant to purchase the other ones because the rose topaz looked a little light on people and it looked very cool toned, and I just wasn't looking for a cool tone palette. I have a bunch now. So I decided to go for this one, and this is what it looks like. I did swatch it already, so I'll show you what those swatches look like. So I used it yesterday, so this is going to be a second impression. And I will do maybe a few shade comparisons. I do have a couple palettes that I thought might look similar to this, so I'm still undecided if I'm going to keep it or not, but the quality is very nice. So just to show you a few that I have, and sorry, this is the creme formula. I believe this is a newer formula to Tom Ford, but I thought maybe there would be some similar shades in the Makeup by Mario, and it looks like there could be maybe nothing close to that top shade, this one here, but we'll see. And then I also have the Lawless palette, which I've been obsessed with. This is the little one. I just love this one. I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. So that's what that looks like. And then I grabbed two more. So this is the Supreme Nudes, the first eyeshadow palette. So that's what this looks like. So I think maybe that one might be similar to that top shade. And then I also have the Ambiance palette, the Sigma palette. So I'm wondering if there is something close in this one. Haven't used this one in a while. It looks a little more warm. So maybe nothing close in this one, but I'll check the other ones to see. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to apply it to one of my eyes, and then I'll just come back with the other eye finished. And then I'll do some swatches. So I think we'll start off with, you know what's so sad? I didn't realize that the Ariel brushes, the Morphe Ariel brushes, some of them are natural hair, and I didn't know that. And I am not really trying not to buy anything that's natural. It makes me sad. But I have them, so I'm going to use them. It's too late to return them now, so yeah. I'm going to go in with that first top left shade. My left, your right. This one. And I think I'll go in with a Morphe M441 brush. Just looks like this. And I'm sorry that whenever I'm doing my makeup, I always cover my face with the mirror, but it's so hard doing it in front of your camera because you have to be able to see what you're doing and make sure that you're not covering the camera. It's a whole thing, but I'll try not to do that this time. Okay, so that's that first shade. Pretty light. I'll go in one more time. My worry when I was swatching them is that they were possibly getting hard pan already. Like this one here, you can kind of see it. I don't know if it is or not. Like, it looks like it is. I really hope not, because if it is, it's going back, because they're too expensive to be doing that. And even my Lawless shadows don't do that, so yeah. And when I swatched them, I had just washed my hands too, so I don't know what the issue would be. Okay, so that's just that first shade. It's kind of like a cooler toned nude. I'm going to go in with that second one now, which is this one here. They don't have names, it's just the quad name. So I think with this, I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Ariel brush A11, so it's just a fluffy brush. Go into that second shade. Like, one thing I do have to say is they definitely go on very smooth and glide on the eyelid and definitely smooth out the eyelid. So I can understand why people really like them. However, I do find that a lot of other shadows can do this as well. So do I think it's worth it just for that? I don't know. Okay, so that's what that's looking like so far. It's looking a lot lighter again on camera than what it does in real life, but okay, so I'm going to go into that third bottom shadow there, and I'm going to switch up my brush. I'm going to go in with the Morphe Ariel brushes in A20. Yeah. That'll just deepen up the crease a little bit more. Just on the outer edge there. And then just buff it a tiny bit up, but not all the way, because I don't want to get rid of those first two shades that I put on. So that's what they're looking like. Okay, so I'm going to do my liner. This is the tough part. This is tough to do on camera because the mirror is so far away. So if my liner sucks, sorry. So this is always the one I use on the top lash line. This is Whiskey by Urban Decay. Look how little it is. Need a new one. And the worst thing ever is that this is my bad eye, so literally I'm doing it from far away, trying to do it with my bad eye open. Okay, I'll take a look at that in this mirror here. It's okay. It's not the best work I've ever done. Okay, so not terrible, but it doesn't matter if it's messy. You've probably seen me do my makeup before if you've seen my channel before, and I just usually smudge it out with a brush anyways. So I'm going to be going in with the A2 pencil brush, and I just went in with that last deep shade to blend that liner out. And usually I will also take an angled brush and go in with that, because it's not usually super pigmented, but this one I find actually is, so I may not need to go in with that. Normally what I do is just kind of clean up this wing with the pencil brush, but I think it's alright. So the only thing I feel like I'm missing in this palette would be like a nice kind of light creamy shade, which I always use on the inner corner. I'm going to do that right now. If I can find my brush. This is just a Real Techniques brush, and this is the base shadow brush. This looks like that. And I know this look is kind of similar to the one that I did using the Lawless palette, but it's kind of just my normal, not necessarily everyday, but kind of everyday look. Alright, so then I'm going to take that pencil brush again, and I'm going to go into, I think, these two shades. Actually, I'm going to go into that darkest shade first, and then blend it out with those two shades. So, sorry. It's a little dark right now. That is quite a deep dark shade. It's a very dark chocolate shade. So I will have to definitely blend that out. Guys, I'm trying so hard not to open my mouth, but I can't do it. So just kind of connect the two there, and then maybe I'll take this guy here. This is the oh my god, I'm blind, 25 brush, and I'll mix those two shades together. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Ugh, I kind of got a lot of fallout underneath when I did that. So I'm gonna just do top and bottom liner, sorry, in my waterline. I'm gonna go do the other eye, and then I'll come back once the other eye's done. Alright guys, so I finished my eyes. What do we think? For the tight line, I just used that Victoria Beckham liner in the shade Cocoa. So does anybody else have this, and have you had this happen? I find that it starts like whittling down the wood when you try to sharpen it, and you have to sharpen it often because it's so creamy. You have to sharpen it very regularly, and now it won't even fit in the sharpener. It's too small. So I have to use a different one. It's crazy. Anyways, which is annoying because that was kind of expensive too. But no worries. So I found this look to be a little more neutral than I was expecting. I thought it'd be a little bit warmer. And generally I gravitate towards a little bit warmer shadows. It still is, but I guess I was thinking it would be more orangey than like reddish. And I normally gravitate towards kind of those like orangey tones because, I don't know, I just find them very flattering on a brown eye. So what I wanted to do was just compare these shades to a couple others. So first I'll start with that kind of lighter tone at the top, and that's the one that's looking like it has the most hard pan. And if it does, like, honestly, I'm bringing it back because I just feel like that's crazy. I've only used this 2 times, and I don't know if you can tell. Can you? But it is getting that kind of like shininess to it, which I'm not a fan of. I'm gonna just like clean my finger before I go in swatching because I don't want to make it worse. But like I said, I did wash my hands right before I swatched it yesterday, and that's like a little frustrating. Okay. Yeah, like, ugh, it's just looking worse and worse. So I'll show you what that guy looks like. So that's that cooler kind of toned brown. And just to get back to the hard pan issue, okay, so that's what it looks like. Coming off a little warmer on screen than it does in person. It's definitely more of like a neutral kind of coolish brown. Tanya B. Wells, I've been watching her quite a bit lately. She had bought the Tiger Eye quad, and she said that one hard panned for her immediately. So that was brutal. So that's that second one. Again, pulling a little more orange than it does. I would say it looks more like this, like the actual color in the pan, than it does on, like in person it looks more like that. So that's that second one. We'll go in with that third one, this is the second darkest shade. And this one has like a reddy brown undertone to it. They look very similar right now, but in person, this one definitely pulls darker and more brown, reddish brown. And then there's that last shade, which is that really deep, dark kind of chocolatey shade. They do shade swatch very nicely, but it's just that hard pan that's, I don't know. I hope it doesn't stay like that. I'll try a tape, but that's disappointing for the price, for sure. They did swatch okay, so as long as it's working, then that's fine, but it's gonna stop working properly on the eyes, that's a problem. Okay, so I'm not gonna put that back in because it's just being annoying, so I'll try some different shades here. I'll try the Lawless, the little one, and see what kind of shade matches we can get. This definitely, I just feel like I like this one better, which is so weird and kind of annoying because it's like way cheaper. But I got this one for Christmas and I've just been obsessed with it. So I'm gonna try maybe this one and see if it's close to that second darkest shade. I think I tried it yesterday. Definitely more warm, for sure. I'll go in with that kind of cool tone shade and compare it to that coolest one. Oh, like way more pigment. So not even close, those ones. And we'll try that darkest brown, but just to show you, zero hard pan on this. It looks like that one kind of does a tiny bit, but I think it's just from my brush. So this is that darkest color. So there are some definite similarities, like those two darkest browns look very similar. But the rest, I would say this one is definitely warmer, leans more orange, and this one leans more like kind of reddish pink. So we see the differences there. Okay, so now maybe we'll try Makeup by Mario. I feel like he has so many nice neutral warm undertones that we'll be able to find something really similar. All right, so let's maybe go in with this shade here. That does look a little warmer. Yeah, okay, we'll go into that one just to see. And again, zero hard pan issues with this one. Have not had any problem. Okay, yeah, so this one is a lot more warm as well. So that's the comparison. That's the Tom Ford Makeup by Mario. So those aren't very close shades. So we'll try maybe this guy and compare to that second shade. Yeah, no, they're very different. Definitely more brown, browny, reddish tone. We'll go into this kind of reddish brown and see if that's close. No, again, it has that warmer undertone. Oop. So I'm kind of glad that it is different from what I already have because I don't want to have multiple things that are exactly the same. So again, that dark chocolate brown, pretty similar in all the palettes. This one looks a little bit warmer. This one, the Tom Ford, looks a little cooler. And then Makeup by Mario almost has like a, almost looks like a greeny brown undertone in the camera, but in real life it looks kind of just like a dark, deep dark brown. So that's what those ones look like. So that was Lawless, Tom Ford, Makeup by Mario. And again, I do like that it has that light color in it. Yeah, I don't really think there are any like real dupes in either of the palettes except those dark browns. Even the reddish tone, so I just swatched this one here. That one is kind of similar to this in the Tom Ford, but definitely not an exact dupe. So I'm just gonna wipe some of those off. And I actually did this yesterday, swatched just the Lawless one, and the Lawless one came off instantly when I was wiping it, and the Tom Fords were like almost hard to wipe off. So I mean, that's good. That means they're long wearing. But I don't usually have a problem with my Lawless ones wearing off either, so I don't know. Okay, so I wiped off the Lawless, and now we'll just go into the Supreme Nudes and see if there's anything similar. So I think we'll try that Silhouette shade that looks like that kind of cool tone brown. Definitely a lot darker. Yeah, so you see right away it's definitely cooler and deeper for sure. So let's see if we can find that kind of mid-tone. It's like an orangey red. Yeah, this one again is pulling a lot more warm. Similar, but not the same. Let's see if we can find that kind of reddish brown. Ooh, these ones are starting to feel dry. I don't know why. And then we have that deep toned brown. So that's what they look like on the fingers. I haven't used this one in a while, and I really, really enjoy it. So a lot different again. These ones for sure are softer, and you can see how much pigment the Supreme Nudes and the Lawless pack like immediately. But if you are somebody who doesn't like that, you don't like a huge punch as soon as you put it on, you might not like those palettes and you might enjoy the Tom Ford better. And it does give you quite a bit of color immediately, the Tom Ford, but I would say it's not as harsh, like you don't have to do as much blending. So that's what those look like. So my final thoughts. I don't think you need to spend like $100 on a palette ever. I do think you can find some really similar, not the same, because like I said, we didn't find any that were like identical dupes. Some similar ones, a couple of the shades are similar, especially those dark browns, but none of them look identical. So if you just want like a really nice palette that's gonna kind of smooth the lids and make everything look really soft, and you don't mind paying a little bit of extra money, then I say go for it. But if you are on a budget and you saved up to buy one specific quad, I wouldn't necessarily say this would be the one to get. It's beautiful, like I'm not knocking it, it's just the hard pan thing is kind of a turn off for me. Like you can see already, like right there. Yeah, you can see the sheen, like up there is the one that's kind of worrying me the most. So I'm going to continue to wear it and see what happens. If it does only get worse and worse with the hard pan and I find it's not performing well on the eyes, like it still is right now because it's brand new, but sorry, if it's not, then it's going back. And honestly, I still think this is my favorite neutral, kind of warm tone. It does lean a little more warm. There is a couple cool tones in there, like these three. And then obviously these are very warm. But this is probably still my favorite palette at the moment. It's the one I definitely reach for the most if I'm just going for, excuse me, like neutral toned eye look. And I mean, obviously the Chanel that I just showed you, the Mediterranean quad, I love. Yes, those are the ones I've been wearing the most lately. So hopefully this helped you decide if you wanted to pick it up or not. Also, I have an issue with this box not closing properly because they have that little, which is not a big deal. People don't keep the boxes normally, but I do. But you can see it pops open because there's that sleeve in there. So when I opened my Sephora box, it was just like this. I'm like, okay. Okay, sure. Yeah, so that's everything. This one I also love. I was wearing this so much when I first got it. So these two perform beautifully on the eyes and they stay on all day. And yeah, I think that's everything. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will show you some of these swatches close up. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. I did pick up the e.l.f. powder foundation. It finally was in stock online, so I picked it up. So hopefully that will be coming up next weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Love you. Subscribe. Thanks. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what this guy looks like before I dig my grubby little fingers into it. Really nice. It's coming off a little more orange than it does in person. But this is what the Smoky Quartz Tom Ford palette looks like. And it comes with the little applicators there as well. Alright, so here are those swatches. This one was I think that was the Supreme Nudes. Yes. This was the Tom Ford, and right at the edge there, I think that was the Makeup by Mario. And then this one was Lawless. So, sorry if it's hard to see the shades here. My shoes and my socks in the garbage. But yeah, that's what these swatches look like. So hopefully that helps you decide. And yeah, that's it.